Hello, this news story is about the Volkswagen scandal. The Volkswagen car manufacturing company has been caught cheating by installing a software component that changed the emission control data on certain types of diesel cars that were being sold in specific countries around the world. As far back as 2014, government regulators and independent researchers in the United States observed Volkswagen emission levels higher than allowed for cars sold in the US, but it was written off and dismissed by the Volkswagen company as technical issues. But in 2015, an unnamed Volkswagen engineer that wasn't happy with the dishonesty confessed to the California Air Resource Board about the fraud. Volkswagen finally confessed that from 2006 to 2015, exhaust control software equipment named Defeat Device was installed on their Volkswagen diesel vehicles that were programmed to detect when the vehicle was being tested for exhaust emissions, which then changed the performance of the engine to improve emission results. Then when these cars were driven on the streets after the emissions test, the software equipment switched from test mode to regular performance of the engine. This resulted, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, that these vehicles emitted two types of nitrogen oxide particles up to as much as 40 times higher than what the United States allowed. This amount of nitrogen oxide in the atmosphere can cause a smog that can lead to respiratory diseases and premature death. After a short preliminary investigation, the United States EPA announced the allegations on September 18, 2015, to the public. The US EPA also confirmed that some of the vehicles fitted with the Defeat device were the VW diesel models of the Jetta, Beetle and the Beetle Converter, the Golf Sportwagen, and the VW manufactured Audi. Soon after, the United States and other countries such as Canada, South Korea, and including Germany and Volkswagen itself started an investigation on who was responsible and who was aware of the fraud. Volkswagen at first claimed that the fraud was orchestrated by a group of rogue engineers. But once government regulators and the EPA demanded answers, Volkswagen changed their tune and admitted that about 11 million vehicles worldwide, including 8 million in Europe, did have the device installed. During this investigation, one individual they are looking at is the former Volkswagen executive engineer, Oliver Schmidt, because he admitted that he was part of the cover-up, but he claimed that he did not learn of the cheating until mid-2015. Experts are predicting that Schmidt may be sentenced for conspiracy to defraud the United States. Also, Martin Winterkorn, who was Volkswagen's CEO at the time of the fraud, resigned 5 days after the fraud hit the news. Authorities are also looking at Winterkorn as a conspirator, but so far there has been no evidence. He said he was not aware of the fraud and had no knowledge of the emissions data or the emissions control software. The possible cost to Volkswagen could not be estimated at this time, but it may very well be enormous. Cost could include the penalties and fees from various countries to the legal actions of car owners and shareholders. The US EPA will most likely force Volkswagen to recall as many as 9 million cars to be fixed and possibly face a fine of $37,500 per vehicle in the United States, which could be as many as 500,000 vehicles. And since the break of the news of the fraud, Volkswagen's shares have fallen by a third. Overall, Volkswagen's fraud could eventually cost them billions of dollars. Thank you.